much, really. Thank you for tuning into my channels. At the same time, thank you for the previous videos I've posted and many of you have watched. I'm so grateful and I'm so appreciative of everything people are doing by just viewing most of my video contents. So today I want to talk about the big game analysis involving Chelsea against Liverpool on Sunday for the EFL Cup. It's a final, actually. The EFL Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool at Wembley on Sunday. Okay, let's get right to it now. In this match, the lineup is actually quite straightforward. It's just that the personnel, I think, might be tilted a bit. For Liverpool, For Liverpool, I think they're going to start in a 4-3-3 formation. They're going to start their strongest, let's just say, okay, not really their strongest, but slightly their strongest lineup. I think the goalkeeper is going to be, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Kelleher. Right back is going to be Trent, left back Andy Robertson. Van Dijk starts, but we don't know exactly who is going to pair him. We think it's going to be Matip, but another part of us thinks it's going to be Ibrahim Konate. But my money is on Konate to start, based on Matip played last week, over the weekend. He played on Saturday, he now played on Wednesday, so that's too many games for him, considering that we know he's quite injury prone. But we're expecting that he's most likely going to be Konate, because in most EFL Cup games, Konate has started. Then the number 6 is going to be Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Thiago. The front line, based on Diogo Jota and Roberto Firmino, they're both injured. It's very likely though that Diogo Jota will be on the bench. We expect a front three of Mane, Luis Diaz, new signing, then Mohamed Salah on the right. For Chelsea, on the other hand, we actually think Chelsea is going to start with, in goal, my money is on Kepa Eggs. Just say Kepa. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Kepa is going to be starting. Then they will have a battery of Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and then Christensen. Dosha. I still have a feeling that this person might start. What do you call this guy? Sharp might start on the left, but let's just see. Then midfield, the wing backs are going to be Ascleta and Alonso as the wing backs. Then over here we're going to likely have Conte. The person over here on the left, we're actually suspecting is going to be. My mind tells me that Kovacic might not be fit for this final, so Jorginho is going to start. But if Kovacic passes his fitness test, or if he's declared fit enough, I suspect he's going to start, because when he starts, Chelsea's midfield really ticks, because he's an excellent ball carrier. He knows how to retain the ball very well. So I suspect he's going to start if he's fit. But if he's not fit, my money is on Jorginho to take his place. Then over here, Christian Pulisic, Captain America, is going to start. Then Mason Mount. The forward, I actually think is going to be Kai Havertz instead of Romelu Lukaku, based on Kai Havertz. He has been doing well as that false nine position, compared to Lukaku, who in the last EPL game we had that he had 7 touches. Can you imagine 7 touches for a striker, which is not very good for a striker? So in this kind of important games, and in most important games Chelsea have played, Kai Havertz is the man, because in the Champions League final he scored. In the Club World Cup final, he scored the winning penalty. So my money is on Kai Havertz to start this final. So it's going to be a 4-3-3 of Liverpool against Chelsea's 3-4-3. What to expect in this game in the Chelsea perspective? In the Chelsea's perspective, the first occurrence that I expect in this game, I expect in this game that, based on watching a lot of Chelsea matches, clips, highlights, and many other things, analyzing their games, Chelsea are actually going to be very, very good in the half spaces with their wing backs in Aspilicueta and Alonso. In the half spaces, anytime Chelsea are in the half spaces with their wing back, there's always this mentality, especially when Lukaku starts. When they're in the half space, there's always this mentality that their wing backs, once they're with the ball, instead of going from the side like this, out wide to support width, they actually come in here. They come into the half space and they always look for a way to cross the ball into the box for the striker to actually, nod. For the striker to nod at goal. Most times, or just a forward player to nod at goal. This is very common in that setup. We expect this kind of thing, or rather, I expect this kind of thing to happen in the Liverpool game, whereby we're going to see a lot of their wing backs coming into the, they're almost like they're coming into the middle instead of being out wide. They're coming into the middle and they're crossing balls from that half space into the box for the striker. If Lukaku starts, it's a big if, because I do not expect him to start. If he starts, this is going to be a common occurrence, especially from Aspilicueta's side. Alonso. Alonso is always the one that is always going where? He's always going out wide to actually do what? Perform crosses. He's always wide. But once it comes to the wing backs actually being inside, that is inside the half space, it's always Aspilicueta that is always crossing in from deep for whoever the striker is to have a chance in nodding the ball at goal, or giving a cutback for a teammate to actually strike at goal. First real expectation from Chelsea in this game. Now, another occurrence that I expect in this game from Chelsea is this. Chelsea are going to be passing a lot of low balls from the wing. And I expect this low balls is going to be from this man here called Alonso, from Marcos Alonso, or in some cases, depending on who starts on the right. If someone like say for example, Ziyech that starts. If Ziyech starts this game, sometimes you expect Ziyech to actually be the one crossing from here, but in matches like this, you expect Alonso over here to actually be giving low-threaded passes to this side or to the small area of the box, or in some cases, based on his over here and the centre backs that in the box are already expecting him to go low like this, it attracts them, and at the same time, this Chelsea striker goes here. So sometimes Alonso can actually shift his pass a bit to the penalty area, and you see runners. Someone like Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, actually running into the middle to strike. So Liverpool have to be careful of this, but this is an expectation I actually expect from Alonso. He's going to be the one that's going to be cutting back short balls into the box for these guys to actually attack, and it's quite deadly because the whip of his low crosses are always hard and on point. Third point that we should expect from Chelsea is this. Christian Pulisic will always try to find space between the Liverpool right-sided centre-back and the Liverpool right-back. This is an occurrence that's been happening a lot in Pulisic's game, especially when he comes against teams who play a very attacking-minded right-back. Whenever Liverpool have played against Chelsea, this is always an occurrence whenever Pulisic plays. Pulisic always a bit drops deep here. He drops deep a bit. Then maybe, take for example, the ball is with maybe the central midfielder of Chelsea. This guy, based on he's trying to be marked by this Liverpool central midfielder, passes the ball to the wing back. Then in most cases, based on sometimes Trent could actually be marking this guy, or sometimes Trent could be high up here.
depending on how the flow of the game is. This guy, on the other hand, is always looking for Christian Pulisic. He's always looking for the space, the run of Christian Pulisic around this area to see how good he is. In the Liverpool game at Stamford Bridge, this was a phenomenon we saw a lot. It even resulted in Chelsea's equalizer, whereby someone over here got the ball. I think it was Alonso in that game. The moment he saw Pulisic running far into the box, he lifted a nice ball into Pulisic, and Pulisic was already through on goal. The person the Liverpool midfielder that was tracking him was Jordan Henderson, and based on Virgil van Dijk was out of not Virgil van Dijk, this guy Kunate, because it's him that was standing on the right side of defense that day, was out of position. Henderson could not follow him very well because Pulisic is really, really fast. So he had a good chance on goal and he scored like this again on that day. So we're going to expect something like this in that match. Liverpool have to be very wary of this phenomenon. This triangle over here between this set of players, they need to be very careful of this triangle. Pulisic is the danger man between the centre backs. He's going to be targeting the space over here between the centre back, right side centre back, and the right back of Liverpool. The fourth expectation in this game from Chelsea is this: when Chelsea play, Liverpool should be extremely careful of their corner kicks. Their corner kicks, to be specific. When Chelsea play corner kicks, depending on who is the kicker, if it's Hakim Ziyech in most cases, once he crosses the ball, he's going to the far post region. The far post region is this side. It's this side. He's always targeting a man around this area, because once he targets a man around that area, it's actually easy for the player to actually give a drop down ball for a teammate to shoot at goal. Or in most cases when they play a match, Chelsea players always flood this area, the penalty area. Now this is what they call the penalty area because this is penalty spot. So they always flood this area. They always have attackers of the balls in this area. So they try to flood it to cause a distraction and at the same time an overload. So when the ball is crossed in here, the person that likely wins this ball will actually give a drop down, and based on this side is flooded, the players, once they see the ball dropping, that they try to win the second balls, and in most times they score. If the ball is not going to this area, if it's not Hakim Ziyech that chase the corner, if it's Alonso, most times it's to this penalty area. And if it's to this penalty area, always be wary of Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, in short, any of the centre backs between Thiago Silva and Rudiger, they are very good at that. In the game against Spurs in the second leg of the of the EFL Cup, we saw Rudiger score a goal whereby the cross came in. He was almost on the penalty spot itself, and he headed the ball past the onrushing Golini of Spurs. So we're supposed to actually be expecting something like this. They're going to flood the penalty area to actually cause an overload. Thereby, the kicker of the ball is aiming for the far post region, expecting a teammate to actually knock the ball down to this region. And based on the overload is there, someone actually tries to kick it at goal to score. This is a phenomenon that Chelsea do a lot when it comes to corner kicks. Last expectation in this game. Chelsea are going to be relying a lot on Mason Mount. He's a factor in this game. Mason Mount is a very, 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 very talented player. His game has really improved a lot under Thomas Tuchel. As Liverpool come into this game, based on Mason Mount is most likely going to be found on the right side of attack, one of the two swing number 10s behind the striker. Mason Mount is a player that his numbers are good. His expected goals for this season, 6.5 in all competitions. According to FBref.com, his expected assist 4.9, one of Chelsea's highest. Why? When we talk of goals, he has a total of 7 goals, which is the third highest in Chelsea. That is actually nice for someone that is actually a midfielder, that is an attacking midfielder. It's actually okay. This is February, he has 7 goals. It's not bad, considering that he's really a young Englishman. The number of assists, he has 8 assists, which is number 1 in Chelsea. He has the highest number of assists in Chelsea. That is quite credible for him, you know. That's quite credible for the young man. So Liverpool have to be very wary. Tuchel rested him against Lille. He didn't play any single minute against Lille, based on he got an injury in the Club World Cup final. So we saw him against Lille in the Champions League. He was rested. So that tells me that he's definitely starting this game, and that tells me that he's going to be the danger man in this game. Liverpool should actually be wary of that young man, because he is going to most likely be the danger man for Chelsea, because they always look for him to make things tick. Whenever Chelsea play with Mason Mount, he always looks fantastic. So keep an eye on Mason Mount in this game. Now, we're going to be talking about what to expect from Liverpool in this game. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about concerning Liverpool is this thing, the Luis Diaz factor. Luis Diaz was bought from, in January, in the winter window, from FC Porto for a fee that is going to be totaling close to £50 million. That is when you add the whole add-ons and everything. But the man has really come into his Liverpool team almost as if he has played over 100 games for the club. Now, Diaz has only played 5 games, but his stats really show someone that, is on point in terms of what Jurgen Klopp expects from his forwards. In 5 games, he has had key stats like this, 47.1% successful pressure. That is successful rate of pressure. That is to show you that this guy presses a lot. In just the space of 5 games, this guy presses a lot. 47.1 is successful pressure. 47.1% successful pressure is actually commendable for someone that has just played only 5 games and is a new signing. That's commendable. It shows that this is a winger that presses a lot. While his pressures, number of pressures that has been successful, are 24. Very good. It shows that this is a man that knows how to press and not be drawn back by the referee's whistle that he has made a foul. While in terms of his hold-up play in 5 games, we've actually seen that he has only been dispossessed 12 times in 5 games. That is, if we say, okay, in 5 games, 12 divided by 5, we're actually looking at 2.something% that he has been per game. That is 2.something amount of times he gets dispossessed in the game. That's to show you that means this is someone that doesn't lose the ball. Even when we've watched him again, we've noticed that whenever he's with the ball, you see like 2 to 3 players swarming him, but he finds a way to still retain the ball and find a teammate. That shows you this is a player Chelsea should be wary of, especially whoever starts on the right-sided centre-back position, because he over here is most likely going to be facing this man. So, and he's going to be facing 1, 2, these people over here. So these 3 players got to be careful the way they press him. He is someone that knows how to hold the ball very well. So Luis Diaz is going to be a huge factor in this game. The second expectation that is going to be very common in this game, is the switch. Based on Liverpool are not playing with a recognized striker, though for years they've not been playing with a recognized striker, but in this game they're actually not playing with a recognized false 9. They were playing with a false 9, Firmino and Jota, because Jota is not actually a striker. But in this game they're not even playing with a recognized false 9. They are virtually playing with wide players, wide forwards all through. We've been noticing that since Firmino and Jota have been injured, we've been noticing the switch between all 3. Whoever stays in the center is almost as if they switch a lot, especially between Sadio Mane, who in most cases starts in the middle, then Luis Diaz. These two, they always switch positions. They are always switching positions in games. Whoever starts in the back three of Chelsea, especially the right-sided centre back and the sweeper, which is most likely going to be Thiago Silva, need to be wary, because the more these players switch, the more they're going to drag their markers out, hence creating a lot of spaces for teammates to penetrate and cause some damage. So Chelsea have got to be very wary of these two players switching a lot. It's most likely that Mo Salah is going to be staying on the right majority of the game, but as time flows on in the game, goes on in the game, I expect all three to be switching, especially these two in Mane and Luis Diaz. Chelsea need to be wary of that, and I expect that a lot. This game, one other expectation from Liverpool, and Chelsea should be very worried, especially their back three, is this. In this game, we're going to be expecting a lot of long diagonals from this man here, Trent Alexander-Arnold, or depending on where Van Dijk is positioned in this part of the field, from Virgil van Dijk. A lot of long diagonal balls from here to out wide here, where Luis Diaz is located. We're going to be expecting a lot of this. Or we're going to be expecting a lot from this man to this side too, Virgil van Dijk, because in Liverpool, the two players that we know from the back that give excellent diagonal balls are Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, especially Trent Alexander-Arnold. In this game, Luis Diaz is going to be very, very pivotal. Based on you are playing in Wembley pitch. Wembley is, it is the national stadium of England, so at the same time, it's quite very, very wide. The width is very, very long. I don't have the numbers right now in my head, but all I know is that pitch is really, really wide. And in this kind of game, I expect Liverpool to stretch play a lot on the left. So once Luis Diaz has the ball, it's almost like he's going to be inviting the third man here, the third centre back that is on the right of Chelsea, to actually come here and challenge him. And we know that Luis Diaz is actually a very good dribbler. He's a very good dribbler, at the same time he's a very good presser. If this guy is out wide with Luis Diaz in a 1v1 situation, like so, it leaves a bit of room over here. Hence, you have some Liverpool players flooding here, or even this guy over here, and Salah tries to find space in the middle. So Chelsea should be very wary of this, that once Trent goes long to this side, or wherever it be from maybe defense or from midfield zone here, they need to be very careful of this. That once a diagonal goes here, it's Luis Diaz, and there's a way that he runs when he's trying to position himself. He tries to, initially he tries to, stay a bit closer to his man. He stays a bit closer to his man, which is this third centre back. Then all of a sudden he tries and drifts wide a bit. He just, slowly drifts wide a bit. Then whoever is on this area, be it from here or Trent, he's very good passing from here, passes a long diagonal ball to him, thereby forcing his marker to come and meet him, creating space over here for an overload, for players to rush in and cause an overload in Chelsea box. Chelsea should be very, very careful of this. Liverpool are going to use Luis Diaz a lot in this match. Another thing that Chelsea should be very wary of in this game is this. When Liverpool play, the number one threat, or rather, one of their major source of goals for this season alone, or rather, since we've been knowing clubs since, let's say, since the 2018-19 season, is this. Liverpool are very deadly from free kicks and corner kicks. That is a source of goals for them. In this season alone, according to Who Scored, Liverpool have scored 21 of their goals from corner kicks and free kicks. 21%. That is 15 goals this season alone have come from corner kicks and free kicks. That is 21% of their goal. That is a huge chunk. That is like 17. That is 21%. That means 79% alone are non-free kick and corner kick goals. While the remaining 21 are corner kick goals and free kick goals. Chelsea should be wary of this because that shows that it's a strength. They should really work on defending corners a lot, especially corner kicks, not even the indirect free kicks that come from the side. Corner kicks, because in Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool have a huge threat from corner kicks. Virgil van Dijk, Joao Matip, these are players that know how to go about in the box and they know how to connect with the ball and score it. But especially Virgil van Dijk, over the few weeks we've been watching Liverpool when it comes to corner kick, we've noticed that Virgil van Dijk has always found a way to wriggle around the box and connect with a ball. Sometimes he might connect well, or sometimes he might not connect well. In the case of free kicks, especially indirect free kicks, once ever they play a free kick, try and make sure you win the second balls. Inter Milan found that out in a very, very, very harsh way. The first Liverpool goal was a corner kick where Firmino scored from the near post area, whereby he was coming in and he glanced his hair like this. The second goal, Liverpool goal, was from Salah, but that goal was caused because Inter could not clear that line, and hence the second ball was won by Liverpool, whereby Mo Salah scores from it. Chelsea should be very careful of free kicks and corner kicks, because for its club to score 15 goals, that is 21% of the chunk of their goals comes from free kicks and corner kicks. That team should be feared. Hence, Chelsea should stop giving away careless fouls at the same time cheap corner kicks. It's a basic Liverpool strength and is a threat that Chelsea should be wary of. The last expectation in this game is the pressing from Liverpool. Man, the pressing from Liverpool is amazing. Guys, with Liverpool, since Klopp came in, we've actually noticed that Liverpool's game has evolved, whereby they don't press anyhow. They now control their pressing. But these past few weeks, we've noticed that Liverpool's press has slowly but rapidly done what? Started coming up a bit. Now, let me give you some statistics I dug up. Liverpool in the league alone, they've had a total of 3,644 pressures. That is, they pressure the opponents 3,644 times. Now, in that period of pressing, they've had a rate of 32.6 alone in the league. That is 32.6 successful presses alone in the league. Now, the thing that most Chelsea fans should be wary of, especially this back three, is this. In the press alone, they have a total of 1,085 presses alone in the attacking third. That is this area of the pitch where Chelsea's defenders are located. They have a total of 1,085 presses in the attacking third, meaning that these guys know how to press well from the front. So if Chelsea are trying to make a build-up play from the back, they have to be very careful, because these front players alone will surely what? Chase you if you are with the ball. Especially if it's this man called Luis Diaz. Chelsea should be very careful of how they pass the ball on their right hand side, because Luis Diaz knows how to press. We saw it against Cardiff City, whereby he assisted the goal. It was because of a press. He carried his man close to the byline, then he pressed him, got the ball off him, then made a pass whereby Minamino found a chance to shoot at goal and score. Chelsea need to be wary of this Liverpool press from the front. Even in midfield, once they lose the ball in midfield, immediately a trigger starts, and the person who loses the ball starts looking for a way to retrieve the ball back, whereby you now see him bubbling up with who is the opposition player with the ball. He bubbles up with a teammate to form a 2v1 situation to press the ball off, and in some cases a 3v1 situation. So Chelsea should be very careful of the Liverpool press. And
a good way of actually, bypassing that press is based on the Wembley pitch is actually wide and long. It's going to tire some of their players out. So Chelsea can use that as an advantage, if the size of the pitch as an advantage. So the Liverpool press is something they should be wary of. Especially that front three. The moment that front three is triggered, especially Luis Diaz, Chelsea's back three should be careful with how they pass the ball, how they do that build-up play from the back. Now, for the prediction of this game, based on I think both teams will play their backup keepers, it's going to be a tricky game. Chelsea have been winning trophies of late, from Champions League final, played the UEFA Super Cup, they won it on penalties, then played the Club World Cup and they won it. So this is a team that is actually learning and actually maintaining how to win finals. Liverpool, on the other hand, these guys are serial competitors. They challenge for the league when everybody's fit. They played in 2 Champions League final under Klopp. They played in a Club World Cup final and won. They played in even the UEFA Super Cup final against this same Chelsea and they won on penalties. So this is a side that has experience and seasoned pros in Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, who even played an AFCON final early this month. So what this tells me is this: both teams are actually good at playing finals. But my prediction is this: if I'm to predict who is going to win, my money is a bit on Chelsea. I'm tilting towards Chelsea a bit based on that feeling of playing a final and winning is more recent in them than Liverpool. Liverpool have the pros and everything, but Chelsea, that feeling of managing a game in a final, especially when you play against Man City in the Champions League final, is there. If they score first, it's going to be a problem for Liverpool because they know how to defend well. But they are coming against the Liverpool side that is very, very, very good. They are actually in form and they actually know how to play against. But in Thomas Tuchel, we have a very, 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 very tactically flexible manager at Chelsea. So my mind is telling me that if Chelsea score first, there's most likely going to be a Chelsea win in this match, and they will lock up shop so well that I'm quite sure they'll win it. My money is on Chelsea. My money is on Chelsea to win this final. They've started winning finals recently. They've won all the old finals recently, so they have that momentum with them. Liverpool, on the other hand, they have season pro and everything, but their goalkeeper, they don't start Alisson, and we're a bit wary of who starts in goal. If they do not start Alisson and they start Kelleher, I'll be a bit wary compared to Chelsea starting Kepa. But if Alisson starts, then they stand a chance. But all in all, prediction is a Chelsea win if you ask me. And if possible, they enter penalties, anybody's game. But my money is on Chelsea to win this. Well, thank you for watching my channel, my video content on the EFL Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool, the tactical preview. Please like, comment and share my video. Like down below, follow over there, click the follow button over there, or rather click the subscribe button over there. I'm so used to Twitter. Click the subscribe button over there. Share my video content to those who love football and anybody that wants to watch a preview, tactical preview of this match, and we'll see who is going to win the final. Cheers.